Okay, we go. I just want to make sure I send it right.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to, well, what is an exciting series. It's a best of three between two heavyweights of this league. It's White Lotus Carnation up against Valhalla Berserks. What fantastic team names. I'm joined by Ghost in Space to cover this series. We are already in draft. What are your expectations coming into this first draft?
And I expect to see both teams go blow for blow. I mean, I've played against both of these teams in this league, so my expectations pretty high in terms of how bloody these games can get. But on another note, though, as draft's already started, I got bans flying out. Pantheon, Kane, and looks like Viego's going to be banned for the side of White Lotus, while Berserkers already taking that Mundo and the Rail off the board.
Yep. Bans are not being done slowly. This is a very quick ban phase. I think these bans definitely seem to be tailored towards comfort picks. I think the only, I guess, hard meta champions that have been taken out are the Mundo, Viego, and Pantheon. I think Rel's in a decent spot, but banning it away when there are plenty of counter picks on red side is probably suggesting a comfort pick banned away. We do see that center locked in. This is a champion that has just risen through the power rankings of the game. Very, very powerful in the AD carry position, can pair with most supports. Its trading patterns in lane is very different to what it was before. No longer just some sort of weak early game champion. You can actually contest 2v2s, and it scales impeccably well.
Yep, and looking like Jinx, very solid AD carry pickup. Going to be, oh, nope. Actually, they changed their minds. Going to be Lucian here on the side of Berserkers. Looking to get aggressive, strong side of this bottom lane. Probably 9 times 10. Going to be paired up with maybe Nami. I mean, Pantheon does like his good old change of supports, but we're going to have to check out and see what we get. But Volibear going to be hovered over the side of Berserkers. I've been seeing quite a bit of Volibear as a late in general. And I'm not going to lie, I personally have a vendetta against that champion, but hey, I love it when it's not me going against it.
Yeah, it's strong champion, very simple, very versatile, very basic. I like what they did, though, because they picked the jungler that they wanted first. And the reason is because Lucian pairs well with Nami and Milio, so you're no rush to select which of the two supports you want to pair with that Lucian. You can just wait, pick your jungler first, make sure you secure the exact jungler pick that you want. Maybe if the opposition team feel forced to pick one of the two, they take one, you take the other. Usually always better for the Lucian, so I like what they've done here. In response, Neferi, still pretty decent. I know some junglers like it, and Ornn just a safe blind pick in the top lane.
Yeah, and that flexibility with Neferi still being in that mid lane. I want to apologize. I meant to say Eden, not Pantheon, so wrong person on that, but still being statement still remaining about the same. But as we're rounding out this round of picks here for the R3, already in the last 10 seconds, and it looks like we're going to be calling it, but it's very simple to pair up with Lucian, very strong, classic Nami Lucian lane. But actually, again, they wait till the last 2 seconds to pull a psych move on me. We got Braum instead.
Yeah, Braum, it's blind. I think in the leagues that I usually cast in, blinding Braum is a very fast way to lose a game. There are loads of counter picks to it, and if you play it properly, Braum is an interesting support in the sense that it's not necessarily a hard engage. He is a defensive support. You naturally want to play reactive on this. I think some of the more well-versed Braum players can engage fights, but it's very, very tricky. The blinding Braum is not ideal, but it's paired with the Lucian. In historic League of Legends, this is the classic Lucian 2v2 bot lane. You can proc the concussive blows on the Braum very easily. So I don't mind it. I just hope that they secure themselves some more solid engage somewhere else.
All right, now back to the bans. His Wade's being taken off the board from the side of White Lotus Carnation. Look what Berserkers see to possibly answer with as we get into the last 2 seconds of this ban. But I do want to point out, though, for the Braum pick, Up Silence is going to be banned off the board. But with this Braum pick, though, it does kind of help with dealing with Neferi. Somebody be able to interrupt that dash and also at the same time be able to actually help deal more with the Ornn ultimate. But as we look to see is for the last pickup and last ban for White Lotus Carnation, I'm kind of interested now because we still don't have a support on the board. Granted, we know fastest centers are in the game, so TK's already taken off. And I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, Fasting Center is not as good as it was than it is now. Sorry. I think current iteration of Senna so much better to be farming as opposed to be doing the Fasting Senna. You can do it. However, I think you just get more value out of AD carry Senna as opposed to support Senna. So I would definitely imagine the Senna would be an AD carry Senna. It would be tricky into Lucian. The reason I suspect so is because you need to now pick a support that will protect the Senna in the laning phase, because this is going to be aggressive bot lane. If Lucian does not get a lead in the bottom side, they are so in a world of trouble up against the scaling of a Senna. So something like the Alistar that can just heal very easily is exactly kind of what I was thinking of.
Yeah, they kind of have no choice but to go to a traditional support because Tam Kench is off the board, so not really a fasting not really much of a fasting option against that. But Alistar being hover still not official lock-in, should be now. And I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to round this team composition out with, as we already got Neferi and Talia on the board.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
it can work, but her E isn't. The only person really going to zone off is Braum with trying to dash somebody. But outside of that, oh yeah, Lucian E. But outside of that, it's not really much.
I actually think the Talia pick is really, really big here. So it works against Volibear Q, the stun. The animation counts as a dash. Braum, a lot of Braum's protective abilities will get stunned. Really important for Braum to pair his jump with his shield, his W with his E. If you get stunned mid W, you can't instantly put the shield up, and so a lot of the Talia damage combo will come through. Alongside with the Lucian needs to dash in. If the Talia field is placed in a specific way, Lucian cannot dash in head on and will have to aim his dash in a diagonal fashion, which could interrupt his DPS in a fight. And so I really actually love this Talia pick. However, if you are always going to pick Talia after second rotation of bans, you have to take Syndra out. This is a unplayable matchup for the Talia, mainly just because it's so obvious the intricate trading patterns between these two mages, where Talia is going to stand if she wants to Q. Syndra can then just preemptively aim all her abilities onto the positions where Talia is going to be in the laning phase. So this is a good pick for the comp, but for the lane, I'm very concerned.
I personally didn't like it being picked on the blue side, knowing that mid is counterpicked in general, because Talia just had. Yes, I mean she can stop the Lucian E, like Lucian E and Braum jump. I mean Volibear, but he just ult past it and call it a day. But it's pretty much you can counter it fairly easily in lane. And especially you didn't really they put Wei in the Azir band. They didn't put much towards the outside of that towards that matchup if you were looking to pick that already. It just makes it life hell already, especially that being your main AP source right there. Like I felt like if you're gonna do that, like just go look towards a different champion that can at least be more blindable. If you're not gonna ban champions, it's gonna just hard kill her in lane.
I mean, that's fair, but I do think Talia is one of the best blinds right now. She does have rough matchups, and whilst you make a fair point on like the E value isn't the best, you have a lot of setup on your team. The value you get out of Talia is zone control. If a combo is going to land from the Ornn and the Alistar, you don't need dashes on your opponents because you're going to hit your W anyway. So I actually think whilst the matchup is hard, if you look at this blue side composition here, it is so straightforward to play. It is so easy to execute. There are very little barriers to entry to operate what exactly the win conditions are for this blue side draft. If you look at red side, you're needing this Lucian to come out of the lane in a significant gold lead. You are needing this Syndra to make sure that she gets and secures mid lane prio without leaving herself open to ganks from this Neferi and even roams from the Alistar. Without that, they cannot get to that mid-game transition at a significant point to pull out ahead of the scaling that blue side have. So I think if we're looking at the overall compositions, blue side's draft is very, very good for the level of play that we're talking about. Red side draft, maybe at higher levels, I would believe in it a bit more, but it's just very slim and concise win conditions that I'm not sure they will be able to achieve.
I know we definitely agree on the easier to pilot. It just for me, I just feel like if you're gonna blind her, at least Band of Champions is gonna murder her. That's all I feel like. Probably for us to Leah in general. Like, it just hurts to see this matchup because I've had to live through it multiple times, both sides.
Yeah.
Typically not fun for the girl who throws rocks.
No, it's a tough matchup. I mean, I think this Talia will need a lot of help from the Neferi to get out of it.
She is, and it also puts their team in a weird predicament too, because Talia falls behind. Then Scion and Volibear doesn't have to really worry about building MR like that. I mean, they might put an item towards it, but then it just okay, we're just building armor and just Scion presses R and try to get as close to center as possible. Or Neferi, just call it a day.
Yeah. I mean, I think that in terms of matchups, Red Side's matchups aren't that bad. Like, the bot lane matchup is going to be tough for the center. What I will say, again, going back to kind of what we talked about earlier, is the new iteration of center, the buffs it got, has now put center in a position where she is not a weak early game champion. I repeat, she is not a weak early game champion. Once Infinity Edge comes in, she is pretty much power spiked. Soul stacking, kind of irrelevant. Once that third item comes in, so equivalent power spike to that of an Azir, or maybe stacked up splinters on Syndra or upgraded core on Victor, that is where center power spikes. So she is not going to lack that much damage in comparison to a traditional AD carry. That 3-item power spike, very strong right now. If you do not believe it, I casted the grand finals on this channel of a center pick, and it was kind of like the concerns of it takes too long to scale. But then we were kind of watching it, and it was like, oh my god, it's actually so broken. So I think that is kind of where we look at this bot lane, right? Is like, how much pressure is on this Lucian Braum to snowball the lane? Because I don't think they can win. They need to, like, stomp the lane.
I think Riot never learns this lesson with making center broken. But guys, we had a lot to talk about. But let us know what you guys think in the chat. What do you guys think of both these compositions? Beyond that, who you guys are going to think going to win this game one for the series of White Lotus Carnation versus Violet Berserkers? And speaking on that, we're going to move to the intermission. When we get back, we're going to hit the riff for game one, see who's going to take the lead for this best of three, guys. See you in a moment.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. The spectator delay has finished, and we are right onto the Rift. All right, Ghost, tell me your prediction. How is this early game going to go?
Put me on the spot here, but hey, it's part of the job. I mean, like I said, I expect both of these teams to play aggressive. And speaking of playing aggressive, unfortunately, it's not gonna really bear much fruit. But they already looking for some shenanigans in bot lane from the side of Valhalla Berserkers. They look for this invade. It might catch the cow and try to make some ground beef. Toxic's gonna be spot out, gonna be seen, but it's gonna be able to should be able to walk away.
Yeah, should be
Damage
fine. Yeah, he's just going to take some damage, but timing of the game means he can just get the reset in. Should open up some movement towards the blue side to get some vision down. Gonna drop a ward onto the bot side jungle here towards the Raptor camp. So information for both teams available on the jungle clear. How do you think that changes the game plan for both sides?
I don't think it really changes much, if I'm being honest, because I mean, by all the Berserkers, they did get a deep ward, but they didn't spot in the Fury, so they're gonna be able to just figure out that hey, it's gonna be starting blue side. So, in terms of what the game plan was, I felt like it was gonna be for Berserkers anyway, which was target bot lane to try to get this Lucian Braum ahead. I mean, it's kind of like on par with what they want. Only thing is, difference is in the Fury, instead of starting red, probably starting this blue with no reason to go top anyway. So for both sides, it's kind of like they're gonna be meeting in bot lane if they choose to gank there. It's not really too much.
Yep.
A lot of mouthful right there.
Massive trade happening in the bot side. Concussive Blow's not being procced just yet. Toxic is going to eat a chunky just reset as well. Damage being spread onto both bot laners, Slayer and Toxic. And so they're going to start this lane kind of even, actually. I kind of just realized the Lucian is also half HP, so not the best of trades overall for the Braum Lucian.
All right, well, guys, talking about starts to things, I got a start for you. It's predictions up, guys. Use those channel points to tell us who you think is gonna win. I see it in the chat, but hey, you can put your money where your mouth is. If you want to bet those channel points for your squad, who you're cheering for.
Yep, definitely so. And we're seeing a trade level 2 hit for both bot laners. Toxic gonna go in with a headbutt pulverized combo, gets stunned up by the concussive blows. Eden auto-attacking, switching marks onto both champions, forcing the early flash out of Toxic. A knock up here on the top side as well. Zarashi going to use that E defensively to get away. So early blows being traded, no one going down just yet.
Remember, I told you, man, I expected this game to be crazy. I expected to like just go at each other's throat. We already seen in this bot lane, constant fighting already. It's only been a little 3 minutes. We see the flash combo, first blood for Slayer as they look to take down Eden. Now he's on the run, but he's getting the stun from Toxic. Eden should be able to make it out with his life. Flash is still available, looking to get some more damage down, just establish dominance besides his AD carry being killed. Level 4 for both mid laners now. We're looking at the trades. Here comes the and it's scattered the week, trying to make his way out. Unfortunately for Beer, not going to get that stun, but Kakarot's still going to come out with about a little over a quarter HP of that trade.
Yep. I mean, overall, a really good trade down on the bot side. This is a very positive situation for the center, Alistair, as a fight breaking out here in the river as well.
Oh no, and Toxic almost down. He's trying to run off. Lucy trying to finish it, but unfortunately, Lego almost dies for the cause, but Slayer still in there. Here comes Beer. Unfortunately, Kakarot is going to be late to the fight. Slayer on the lower side of HP, and Root's going to be missed. And Peachy is going to die again. 0-2 starting off this game already. In the first 5 minutes, we already got 2 kills on the board.
Yep, 2 kills on the board already, and it's a good start. And, I mean, we mentioned this sort of happening in the Twitch chat when we were on the break of, like, all this conversation about how Senna is this weak early game champion. But, ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned this in the draft. She is not that anymore. She's not just some meeble AD carry in the early game. She actually can do damage now. And we're seeing in this early fight that she's 2-0. She's 9 CS ahead of this Lucian. When Lucian Braum got good position in the laning phase. And, well, this is Senna now. I don't like it. I think it's bad that a scaling champion is kind of good in early game now. But, as you can see, this is the reality of this Senna pick.
You gotta love to be getting hit early game, and then later on be getting hit by even a stronger AA, but 2 screens away. You gotta love it. I think Riot never learns sometimes. No, I'm joking. All seriousness though, Nefiri gonna be spotted at the top side, gets a little damage down onto the Lego on this Foley Bear. But Peachy, what are you doing, brother? You're there by yourself. And now Peachy just getting walked down. Flash not available, but
Good.
Flash will be utilized and now Feat of Warfare claimed by this blue side, man. This White Lotus Carnation bot lane currently going crazy. Like 3 kills, 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Come on, bro.
Yeah, feats of strength, feats of warfare, sorry, coming through for the bottom side of White Lotus Carnation. I think Peachy picks just on the Lucian. You need to be a little careful of that as an ult coming in topside.
I'm sorry, man. We're talking about being careful, but look at here. Like, Nums 1-2 is not going to be, as he's possibly taking... Oh, no. Oh, he finishes with the Q. Cyclops is not going to make it out of there alive. Look to try to get some farm, you know, at least a couple minions. Maybe one.
Yeah, this is really scary. The ideal situation here for Valhalla Berserks is you start to win the early game, transition into the mid game at a good point, but you're up against a scaling composition. Now, let's add a narrative that they are the ones leading the early game. That is a scary reality that you're facing. You are hoping here that in the mid lane, Kakarot is going to get something out of it. The only one winning the lane at the moment, because top lane just got solo killed. Bot lane have been getting 2v2, 3v3'd. So across the map, it is domination for White Lotus.
This is it's a massacre. But Dragon being started from the side of Valhalla Berserkers. Almost a quarter of the way, but the collapse is coming in from the side of White Lotus. And there's the Talia ultimate. Nefiri is going to get the steal, and now kills are being taken on the board. Peachy going to find himself 0-4 as Batello going to be now 1-0-2. Going to try to look for Kakarot, but Kakarot is going to use that scatter weaken to flash away and make sure no more kills be taken on the board.
Sure, I mean, this is just not good. This is definitely... Let's just try and, regroup, recover, and reconsider our plans of this game. We're currently at the 7-minute mark. The gold lead is 3,000. There are leads everywhere across the board. The Senna has 5 kill participation out of the 6. And I think Nums 1-2 is going to die as well.
Hey, man, I'm sorry, man. We're going to interrupt your broadcast for another ass whoop is going on the top side. Nums 1-2 is going to go down again through a 3-man game. What is going on in this game? We're 7-0. We have almost a kill a minute, bro.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. I mean, yes, almost a kill a minute, 7-7. So this is scary. I'm starting to be a little bit concerned because, I mean, we said it's so important for this Lucian Braum to come out of the laning phase ahead. They're not just behind. They're all the way in a different generation. They are that far behind. Like, Slayer has got an item. This Senna has completed an item. Lucian has 2 longswords. It's such a big difference in the bot lane. I just don't see a way out of the woods for Valhalla.
Man, you talk about items. Let's look at the exact goal, man. It's now Slayer about 1.3k. Actually, make it almost 1.4. Almost 1.4 now with this last little bit of farm taken. Like, this is a massacre. Like, we're not even 10 minutes into the game. You're saying you're a little bit concerned? I'm just afraid for the side of Valhalla Berserkers. Their mental is going to be ready for next game.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we got this fight in this bot lane. Peachy and Eden trying to fight back. It's not working out too well. This Slayer is just so strong right now.
God. Yeah, and
but here comes Lego on the flank. Gonna be looking to try to finish off Slayer, but he's gonna get knocked into the turret instead. And now Lego's gonna be forced to ult. What is this beatdown?
Oh gosh, it's a disaster. Now, here's the scary thing. As you can see, getting on top of the Senna is going to be really difficult. You really were banking on this Lucian and Braum getting ahead in the early game, but they did not. Now getting that kill onto the Senna is extra difficult. Toxic's going to have enough tools in his kit to peel Slayer away from any incoming threat. On top of that, you're going to have Arashi in the team fight. You're going to have this Talia do so much work to get people off the Senna. Also mentioning, look at this trade.
Oh no, the combo got messed up. If Toxic was able to land that combo just well and just perfectly, Peachy would be dead again. Bro, like, there's a nice saying for this. Let's say it again. Oh yeah, belt to ass.
Oh my god.
This is what this is right now. I'm sorry, but
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's true. I hope they get something back soon. There is a dragon spawning in just under 2 minutes, and I'm kind of like, okay, I don't see a world where they fight this, but there's a fight here.
I mean, it definitely is. Lego sat in the bush for a lot and for way too long, and now
Oh my.
he's another victim added to the kill count for a Slayer. It's now 4-0-3 on this center.
Hey Ghost, that's their tank, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's okay, man. It's okay. I'll give Valhalla Berserkers a therapist after this game one.
Yeah, and another reason I said that is because I've noticed the Scion is not going tank. He is going AD Scion.
Yep. He built serrated Dirk first, and I kind of felt bad for him. But now mid lane, the only lane that where it hasn't been not too much anything crazy happening, and Bear just using those get a goal from the 3 assists to his advantage. Granted, the items are close to the same aside from tier and boots being acquired by the Talia, but in terms of power, oh boy, Beer is looking for the kill. Ate a tower shot to go for it, but both flashes is spending in the mid laners.
Okay. All right. I was like, okay, if there's any way Valhalla Berserks get the victory here, it is probably through this Syndra. But now seeing the Syndra having to flash away from Atalia, okay, we gotta get a kill. That's
First
something.
kill on the board. There we go. Give it a round of applause, guys. First kill on the board for the side of Valhalla Berserkers. As now combo you missing the bot lane by Toxics. Now they're on the chase, trying to get more damage down. As I see they're not gonna be able to get the kill. As now Lucian gonna be utilizing the ultimate. Colin gonna knock Toxic down to about a little under half HP, but Batello just around make sure none of those crazy happens. The drag is on the board. Arashi find himself between a rock and a hard place. They're gonna be looking for the kill, but Flash will be expended.
Yep, I like the cross maps here from Lego Alien, but yeah, you see that trade happening in the bot side. It is very ugly.
Oh my goodness, this is beat down. Eden barely lives, and the shield, keeps him up. But
yep, they're flashing the Syndra here as well.
What is Toxic doing?
It's a traded kill.
Yeah, you know what? That was a what they call it, mercy kill. Yeah, that was a mercy kill.
Yeah, I'm in 1-for-1. Good shot down there for Kakarot. So I think overall you could be pretty happy with that. Again, we're looking at the Syndra, hoping to be the shining light. Sion ultimate down in mid lane.
And teleport is coming out from the Orin going to the mid lane.
Wow.
Abatello nearby, but Beer is gonna die anyway. It's not gonna matter much. As a side of Valhalla Berserker, they find themselves another kill. Now 3 kills on the board. And granted, all this massacre is these man. I'm just saying 5-0-3 center, and the craziest has been happening. You would think the gold lead is even bigger than what it is, but 3K gold lead to the side of White Lotus Carnation for the moment, and looking like they're gonna be getting first turn sooner rather than later. But as Senna's gonna back off, as makes sense.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The gold lead, I agree, probably should be bigger, but scanning my eyes across the board, the CS from the side of White Lotus looks pretty low. Even though Senna's ahead, it's 89 CS at 14 minutes. This is... I can't do the maths exactly, but I don't even think it hits 7 CS per minute. It's very, very low farm numbers. Talia's down 20 CS. The Ornn, it's an Ornn, so... I mean, not too valuable, so... Yeah, I think that is what's contributing to not as big a gold lead as it should be, but I think once a turret goes down for White Lotus, that is where it might expand to an even bigger number.
I just want to point out how much, speaking of Senna and gold, man, I just want to point out how much gold she had total so far. 6.4K.
Oh my lord.
And goodbye, Kakarot.
Yep.
And now Num 1-2 is going to go down also.
Wow.
Boulder is nearby. Lego's going to try to stop Beer from getting away, so yeah, just get a little damage down the side. After Light Flash going to be expended by Lego. Should be able to get the kill in the mid laner of White Lotus Carnation. It's going to be 2-2 now for Lego on this Volibear.
Hey, I mean, Beer has been very overextended in multiple scenarios at bot lane.
Man, you just feel bad for Peachy. Look, man, just getting walked down by Arashi on his Ornn.
Wait, is he gonna get...
Yeah, he's forced to blow barrier, or he would have died. But here comes Eden, but he's not gonna be able to do much for him. Teleport coming in from Sion though. Even 3-man Arashi.
It's a
Get a little
shutdown.
payback. It is a shutdown. 150 gold. Senna ult is gonna miss Peachy. So unfortunately, couldn't get a trade kill there. But Arashi, after a hot minute, finally dies.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. White Lotus, they've been making a few individual errors. I'm looking at their solo laners here. Arashi overextending, giving over a shutdown to Nums 1-2. In the top side there, Beer overextending once again. Yes, you get a kill in a Scion, but he's not worth much gold. It's not worth giving your life over. Lego Alien picked up the kill onto Beer, and so they are getting things back, and they're making another play onto Beer.
You know what I feel like I'm looking at right now? If I'm being honest with you.
Wait.
Oh, we got a little dive going on in the top lane. In the top, sorry, mid. But Toxic's gonna back off. Slayer and Toxic just trying to knock down this mid tier 1 turn. Abatello trying to use the little charge, but unfortunately, Shelly's gonna be killed. Not gonna be able to get on this top tier 2. But I'm seeing a classic case right now of team gets a lead, they get a little cocky with it, and things are not exactly going their way because of it.
Yeah, they are making errors. Now, interesting choice of words, because I actually think they have suddenly stopped playing as a team in general. It's like these mistakes from Arashi and Beer have been individual mistakes, overextending on the side lanes. Really important not to do so. You have so much pressure out of Slayer and Toxic here. Like, Kakarot is struggling to uphold this mid lane tower. If you look at the minimap, it's almost dead. But if you're dying on side lanes, you're alleviating pressure on that mid lane, because Slayer and Toxic, they can push up if their side lanes are alive. But once they go down, they have to be concerned. When someone goes missing, is he going to look for an ult into mid lane? When the Lucian Braum is winning a fight against the Ornn on the side lane, can they rotate back to mid lane? We have to back off. We cannot push our lead. So I think White Lotus solo laners just need to relax a little bit, realize that their center has 2 items to Lucian's 1, and just stop getting overcaught on the side lanes.
Definitely got to clean up all the sloppiness, or it's going to find ourselves with Berserkers back completing the game. The
There we
teleport
go.
going to be expanded to come into this fight, as now engages happening. Leo being utilized. Lego going to have to ult his way out to live, but Abatello's going to make sure he catches him with the Q. And now volleys are falling left and right, as now 3 are dead for the side of Valhalla Berserkers, as now Dragon is also on the board.
Yeah, White Lotus, they make a few errors, but then they realize, hey guys, let's just play around that center again. They do that for one play, and then there are randomly 3 people dead straight away. And so, yeah, they recalibrated their game plan to focus straight onto that mid lane, pick up 3 kills, Dragon should be free, and they're even looking for more.
They are looking for more, as now Eden's going to find himself stunned, but going to be able to walk out just perfectly fine from Toxic Engage on this Alistar, while Abatello still solo on this Dragon. Currently, should be almost done with it.
Yeah, should be able to pick that up quite easily. Beer, though, on the side lane, where we talk about overextension, seems to be overextended here, but I don't think will die. But it does open up a mid lane turret for White Lotus. Lucian getting rooted as well. Oh my god.
Peachy just getting destroyed right now.
Oh my god.
Still far ahead, man. Already 2 items in to his 1. As now Eden. I mean, looking for someone with the Glacial Fissure, but teammates not gonna be around much. But I tell you who is around, Abatello, to finish off Peachy on this Lucian. And here comes Abatello again, looking to try to get also the Braum, but Slayer is gonna find himself another kill. 6-0-8 on this center as they continue to march down this mid lane.
Yeah, I'm gonna reference Twitch chat again. There was a back and forth. Senna's not strong in early game. One guy saying Senna's OP in early game. What do you think?
If I'm being honest, I don't think this game is a good reference tool for that. The reason why, because I feel like Peachy was kind of trolling in a sense. Now, granted, Senna did do well though. Senna did do well.
It's probably not, but I think the big discussion point is Peachy played this matchup correctly if it was the old Senna, but it's not the old Senna anymore. I think the way you could play against the old Senna was just like, you just completely disrespect the fact that it does nothing in the early game. You can't do that anymore. As you've seen in these trades, they traded even against an Alistair at level 1. Alistair's not a champion at level 1. You're a Lucian Braum trading even against a Senna at level 1 without a support, essentially. So I think that does go to show there's a reason why in LCK and in LPL, Senna's being prioritized. There's a reason why in even not amateur leagues, but ERLs that Senna is also being prioritized. It's not this weak AD carry in the early game anymore. I think you are right. This game is not a fair representation because if you saw this game, you're like Senna's an early game lane bully. That is definitely not the case. That is untrue, but it is not as weak in the early game as it used to be.
Yeah, you can definitely fight back, but this game showcases Senna to look like you're just fighting Draven or something without the
exactly.
passive.
Yep. Exactly, and she's not a Draven. Like that is definitely not the case. But I mean, it's a good showcase for the blue side draft. If you're taking a look at where Valhalla Berserk have been able to get advantages, it's when this composition splits apart. The kind of issue of this blue side comp is that when they are split, they are weak. When they are together, they are strong. Ape together strong. I hope we don't get like copyright strikes for that. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, so I think if Valhalla Berserks can keep trying to make pitches on the side lane where they are split apart, then I think they can maybe come back into this game.
Yeah, but that's gonna be a long road as you see every time we think they're itching and trying to claw their little ways back. They make that one play and it just gets strong and thrown all away. But on the other hand, White Lotus, it feels like it's their game to lose really at this point.
Yeah,
it honestly feels like that way.
It really is. I mean, I think the bigger thing is like if they are to lose, they would have to make so many errors. And not to cast a curse anyone, I don't mean to, but I'm gonna say it. This game is harder to lose than to win. It's like you would need to make so many errors if you were to throw this game for White Lotus. So I think just as long as like like we saw a period where Ornn died, Talia died twice, and then they just realized, okay, let's just go mid again, and then they just instantly start winning again. So if they ever start finding themselves in a tricky position, they can always just recalibrate back to that old game plan that they've been doing throughout the whole game. Play around this Neferi, play around this Senna, and they should be absolutely fine.
Man. All I know is I did not expect the first 10 minutes of the game to happen.
No.
I expected fights, but I was expecting just, Berserkers get turned into roadkill.
Yeah, I mean, I was very surprised with how this game went. I actually didn't think it would happen this quickly, but I did see the scaling on red side to be problematic for them. They were on a timer, and my biggest advice to any team playing on the professional level is do not put yourself on a timer that is too short. You pick yourself a Lucian, you run the lethality Scion. You need too much to happen in the early game, and as you're seeing, if something goes wrong within that period, it all falls apart very, very quickly. And getting back into it is so difficult. So, I mean, do you see any way that they can get back into this?
A lot of picks. I'll be honest with you, just a lot of picks. Like they have to. Well, they've been pretty much unsuccessful in finding Slayer in any way, any shape, form. But that's the main one they gotta kill. They can find Abatello, pick him up, or Slayer by themselves, which that's gonna be the harder task to do because Slayer's never by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Then they could find a way to find out angles to like objectives and such. What may or may not be up around the time, or at least be able to set up and get some type of vision control on the map. If not, good luck.
Yeah, exactly that. It's going to be such a tricky situation. We are still in the pause. How do you feel about the current state of the meta?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, I just came off vacation, so I walked
Oh,
back into this.
where'd you go?
I went to California, man. It was a good time.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, Northern California. It was like surrounded by a bunch of vineyards. It was a good time.
What's the best part about your trip?
Best part about my trip. I'm not so. I like racing.
Oh, like,
I like it. I like F1 and such.
oh my God,
So
me too.
yeah, so when I went into they had a go-kart spot. It was within this casino, but it was they have different heats. They have like, but they also have like a pro heat also. So like they have different speed. Basically, each one is kind of like different speeds of go or karts.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was pretty fun. Like the ones me and my brother and my brothers did was like 35-mile-per-hour karts.
Sick.
But it was a lot of cornering. I mean, a lot of cornering. And it was pretty fun.
So you said you're a big F1 fan. Who do you follow?
All right, this may sound like I'm a fanboy, but Lando Norris.
No, no, no. I respect it. I respect it. I like him too. I like him. He's not my favorite, but I do like him. I'm a Ferrari fan, unfortunately.
Oh man, I know your heart hurt. Your heart has hurt.
Yeah.
You like
Sad.
Ferrari fans are like the equivalent of Dallas Cowboy fans. It's like we're gonna do it next year. We're gonna win next year.
I don't know too much about the football, American
Well,
football, but
to give you a quick rundown of what Dallas Cowboy fans are like. Every year they say they're gonna win the Super Bowl, which is the big the big event, culmination of the whole season.
I see.
They're gonna win the big one. That's equivalent to, no offense, Ferrari fans like, oh, this is our year. This is our year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Tell me about
like you guys got Lewis Hamilton now and Carlos Sainz and Williams is like, this is our year, and then yeah.
Oh, it's so sad. It is so sad. Oh well. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Happens. I mean, we are back into the game. We'll probably get that little bug where it we get sent into some frozen screen. But now that we have returned, okay.
There it is.
Make a prediction. When is this game gonna end?
All right. So if I had to say this was like really high level play, the next 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
When we're watching Emerald play, I'm gonna say the next 10. I think that's a safe bet. Next 10 is safe.
We're seeing an ult towards top lane here.
They're trying their best to, kill Arashi. It's the wet noodle fight. Center ultimate is going to be utilized. Get the shit over to Arashi. Now they're going to be looking to try to knock down his turn. Here comes the rest of Berserkers. They're going to make sure they're going to get... They're going to try to kill off Volibear's brother. They're going to try to make sure it happens. Arashi's just burning so much time, but luckily for Berserkers, there's not really a major objective at all. Let alone the lanes are not pushed into the turn, except for bot lane, but Leah finally going to be making her way up to get some damage down on that bot tier 2.
Hey, more overextensions. Catch after catch, that's kind of what you said was their win condition if they wanted to get back into this game. And so that is another catch onto the side lane that has gone very positively for them. I think they can continue looking for these players, and it might give them a chance back into the game. We're seeing a catch here. I think it's going to come through. Flash was used as well, but hey, I mean, if they keep this up, I think there could be a way into this game.
Man, this game is it's a doozy. I'm just like, I feel like I'm just watching to see how many mistakes White Lotus is gonna make. More so if Berserker has a chance of winning. That's why I feel like I'm watching. Like, I don't know. How do you feel?
Yeah, no. I mean, similar thing. I'm very surprised with how many mistakes that are being made on the side lanes, and more so because these errors have been very much like unforced. I don't think Valhalla Berserks have done anything to make these errors happen. They've kind of just happened. Speaking of,
and Toxic is gonna get caught in the slaughterhouse. His ultimate being utilized. Here comes Apatello and Slayer. The look trying to make this long. Maybe Toxic isn't gonna be taken to the slaughter.
No
just
way.
yet. Oh no. He will be turned to ground beef, but Braum will join him as now Let Go and the rest of the Berserkers are on the run, and Lego now at the gray screen and he's dead, but so is Num 1-2 in the moment as double kill over to Abatello as now Peachy's on the run. Peachy's gonna be finished off. Kakarot looking to get a quadra kill. Unfortunately, gonna get Dark Spirit comboed. But Slayer is there to save the day. Oh my goodness. I say save the day, really just caused the ace. Good God. Oh my,
I
this is a
mean,
beat down.
yeah, Slayer's just continuing on that rampant rampage that he's been doing all game long. The fight actually started looking so good, almost taking down Toxic, and then the extended trade eventually brought him down. Then came the rest of White Lotus, and whilst they were able to pick up one more, it was Slayer at the end of that fight, standing strong, completing the ace. And as you see on your screen, it's starting to do so much damage, so much hurt. It's a center as well, so it only gets worse from this point onward.
Man. Flash being spit by Lego. Lego's gonna find a kill. Or actually, unfortunately, gonna miss the knockup. So that's another pick for the side of Valhalla Berserkers. But 21-9 and down by like a little over 7K gold. You're gonna need a lot more to try to get back into this game. Dragon is up on the board though, so no Talia for another 28. I can't help about Berserkers, but it's just a matter of who they're able to pick off. I mean, Kakarot is gonna be looking to try to combo Slayer or Albatello. Granted, they're in one particular slot, but num 1-2 is just getting destroyed. And now the fight is continuing. Kakarot is going to find himself getting targeted, and he's going to go down. Albatello just going crazy in the back line, and now for White Lotus Carnation.
A triple kill up here for Albatello. He has been a secret carry. We've been praising this center all game long, but let's not forget, this Neferi has been a major reason as to why the game state is broken out in the way that it has. I think the reality is this game is completely done and dusted, and this could just be a push to the end.
Man,
Oh, they're just going to go for bot.
I'll just give a moment of silence for Berserkers for game 1. Hey, man, alright. Yeah. This game not looking too hot, man.
No, it's not looking good. I think after that fight right there, it's pretty much good to call it. But you know, they could make a mistake. They're looking for a fight here.
They are looking for the fight, but they're not really doing that much damage. Arashi is like he's just getting tickled the entire time. Now, the fight is continuing 3-on-5. As now, unfortunately, the Braum almost gone, and so is Lego. Lego is trying to run for his life, but Death is just being found for the side of Berserkers left and right. As even gets taken back to the crew.
Wow. It's another ace. It's a triple once again for Albatello with double for Beer. 31 kills to 9. This is an absolute slaughter. 25 minutes is all it took for White Lotus to bring the house down. It's going to be a free push to the end of the game and a dominant one to start this series.
Man. Oh, Beer almost got a free death.
Yeah, I mean, from start to finish, I think this game only really had one conclusion. I don't think at any point this was looking difficult. This was just overall a very dominant game. I am very concerned for the mentality going into the second game, but I think it's just about resetting. It's just about throwing this game out of your memory and trying to move on if you can.
I'm being honest, concerned is an understatement what I feel for this right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
We need to start having mercy rules for Comp League of Legends at this point.
Hey, look at that damage graph, and I think if we were to review which famous Twitch chatter won the Twitch chat argument, whoever was inside of that center, I think you could comfortably say is the corrector of the two. 30k damage at 25 minutes. That's over 1,000 damage a minute. Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? The center just completely run the game. Definitely my MVP, honorable mention to Albatello, but I mean, if you're doing that much damage on a late game champion at 25 minutes, you got my salute for that performance.
The funny thing is we had a nice long conversation about the Talia pick, but when it's all said and done, it didn't matter. It did not matter this game.
Nah, definitely. Right. Well, as the teams will prepare for game two, we also will take a little bit of a sip, a calm relaxation after that absolute obliteration. So don't go anywhere. We will be back for game number two. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our coverage of this exciting series. Both teams still taking the same side. Ghost, what do you think these two teams need to be doing differently?
Real answer. Ban Senna. Professional answer. Ban Senna. Personal answer. Ban Senna and the Fury.
Yeah. There were definitely issues. I think what's maybe banning Senna maybe not the case. I think picking something better into the center would definitely be something you want to do. I think more traditional counters into center would be something like a Varus, which is very strong right now. So I just think putting yourself on the Lucian was just too difficult to operate at this level of play. As we see the bans that are coming through, it is basically the same bans as last game.
Yeah, it definitely is. But I'm curious to see. I'm expecting White Lotus probably stick with the center. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if they do lock in the center, what is Berserkers gonna retaliate with? 'Cause I did like the Jinx potential pick in the game one, but then they switched to the Lucian. But I'm curious this time they're gonna actually just pull the trigger on the Jinx if they do let the center go through.
Actually, Jinx is not good into current center, mainly because Jinx doesn't like it when your opposite AD carry outscales you. Jinx is one of the few AD carries that has barely any contest when it comes to the late game. But against the Senna's the one AD carry that can outscale the Jinx. So in that sense, Jinx not the best pick into the center. They don't first pick the center, they're going for the Wukong instead.
I mean, from a personal standpoint, I don't feel like a lot of... I mean, against this iteration, I don't really think there's much you can really just pick in general. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, something that can at least you could build a comp around that can at least try to make it work. Whereas, like, they can try to play towards, like, if they're going to play champions that can pick others off, I feel like Jinx could fit that mold. I'm like, okay, hey, get it side. It can help them out a lot more than just, hey, let's just try to play through bot lane and watch that happen again.
I mean,
but then again, Senna is fearless. It is fearless. So Senna's not what I'm talking about.
Oh,
I gotta remember that. I gotta remember.
I did not know it was fearless. So okay, fair enough.
I gotta remind myself it's fearless. Like I said, I came off vacation.
Yep. It is definitely fearless, so you don't have to worry about the center. Varus being locked in, very strong. Echo is a champion that I'm not too big of a fan when it comes to competitive in the jungle, so if they are going to move that Echo into the mid lane, that is my personal preference. Ashe being hovered there, which is, I think, the usual answer into Varus, but they do go for the Kai'Sa. Bad matchup for the Kai'Sa, but when you pair it with the Nautilus, it becomes a decent matchup. Just to see where the red side pick the right support to pair with the Varus. You have the Thresh, you have the Poppy, things that can stop this Leona from going in.
Not only just stop the Leona, but stop the Wukong also. Not be able to just eat in the middle of the team for a Cyclone, but TK is going to be hovered over for the current moment. I mean, it can work, but I'm not sure if I really want to have TK on my team if I'm staring down Leona. The CC's going to throw him instead.
I mean, it's not the worst. You can devour your Varus if he does get caught with any CC, so I mean, in that sense, it's actually not too bad.
Yeah, it's just my issue is then TK devours Varus, and then they just lock down Tam Kench, and then where does Varus go? Because he has no choice but to pop out around there. So unless you're right by a wall where they can just spit you out over it, you're just kind of like stuck there. You're not the one taking the beating, but as soon as you come out, you know what's waiting for you.
Yeah, that's definitely very, very true. It's not the best healing champion to be picked here. And I think Kai'Sa, Wukong, there is enough to get through the tankiness of a Tahm Kench as well. Seeing the second rotation of bans come through. Thank you for the follow. Arigato plays. Appreciate that very much.
The play on words, I like it.
Yeah, Arigato plays. You must be an Ari main, if I'm not mistaken. Let me guess, you're from the Netherlands. Just a random guess. Gonna throw that out there. If I'm right, then wow, amazing. Anyway, second rotation of bans coming through. I'm just kidding, by the way. He's my friend. Anyway, Second rotation of bans coming through. We're seeing mid laners and top laners taken away. The Poppy is gone. No, we said we didn't like the Tahm Kench, but how about if they send the Tahm Kench into top lane and then pick a support?
You know what? I can live with that. It is flexible.
Malzahar.
All right, so it's ironic this champion is picked because I have a buddy of mine who he spams Malzahar. He's an 80 carry, man. He's a Masters 80 carry, but he spams Malzahar mid. He just loves telling me about Malzahar being a sleeper pick. And I do agree with him to a degree. So things like this happen where Azir is on the board.
Actually, okay. So I've played this. I'm a bit of an Azir OTP myself. This matchup isn't as hard as it may come across for the Malzahar. The benefit, of course, is Azir can just, easily clear the crabs pretty easily, which stops Malzahar's shove. But Azir himself wants to be very inactive in his lane as well. So that is good for both Azir and Malzahar. They both are very different champions. But by picking Azir, you're almost kind of just being like, mid lane is a farm fest, unless the junglers are involved. Is where the junglers are involved is where it gets a bit tricky in the mid lane. Gangplank being picked up. So there's a lot of late game damage for White Lotus here, like a lot of late game damage. And over onto red side, they do have decent late game damage, but I'm looking at this Echo. Now that it's into the jungle, they have a carry jungler with a lot of setup, which is very, very good for him. However, if this Echo decides to full clear, he is not going to be very effective.
I'm not going to lie to you. I felt like a bruiser would have been great on the side of White Lotus in the top side. GP, you already have Kaisa on the other half of the map, right? And granted, yes, you can play towards the Kaisa, but it's going to be kind of a tall task. But okay, on paper, if you just X out the players' names, it should be a tall task because of theirs. And that's why I said on paper, because if they play anything like they did first game, then it don't really matter at that point. But Varus space that he still hurts pre-6. He still is gonna hurt a lot.
He's still a very strong champion. I'm not a fan of Gangplank, to be honest. I agree with you. If they wanted to pick something with a bit more damage, you can probably just take like another bruiser. You probably could have blinded Aatrox yourself, or just go for another tank, because like you said, you have the Kai'Sa, you have the Azir, you have the Wukong. You already have 3 damage dealers that, and to be perfectly honest, all 3 of these champions need a lot of gold income. Then you add a Gangplank on top of that, another damage dealer that requires a lot of gold income. So you have 4 champions that are just going to be demanding resources across the map. I agree, if the game was played like it was the last game, that is irrelevant, and they're just going to win anyway. But if Valhalla Berserkers play this properly, they can actually get a really strong mid game going, because they're scaling all over the shop, and it's not fast scaling considering everyone needs the resources.
I'm not gonna lie to you, hell, Nara could have even worked here.
Yeah, no.
You want some damage, but still, able to frontline. Sure, let's go Nara. I just don't really like the. I'm not really a big fan of GP. Like I said, you already got a scaling AD carry as it is. Now, granted, yes, they can still strong. It's gonna be It's still gonna be. Don't make the game harder on yourself. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep. I agree. I think the last game was really indicative of something called the ease of execution and its significance. The last game we saw one draft being, you could comfortably say a lot easier to play than the other, and it definitely showed that just gave them such a great advantage to win the game. And I think as we consider this next draft, looking at both sides, Malzahar, Varus, 2 champions. Varus is maybe not so easy, but Malzahar is so easy to play. pair it up with the Echo. Very simple to execute. If we're going off last game and picking things that are easy to play, this is definitely a good setup for Valhalla Berserkers.
Well,
Oh,
guys, I got we have conversations. I see some people talk about the games in the chat, whatever. But the real question, right? Who do you guys see gonna win? But hold that thought, cause guess what? I'm putting projections and predictions are gonna be up momentarily. You guys see your channel points. Now, game one, we didn't talk about it before, but nobody voted Berserkers. Nobody believed in them at all. So all of you got money. But game two is a different ball game. Ain't exactly just so lopsided. At least. So
yep.
let us know in those predictions what you got, who you guys think is gonna take this game to, and what you guys think of. Because I think we're all kind of question mark in the gameplay pick, so I think that might have swayed some opinions now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna vote for blue side. I got Azir. This is my favorite champion. I gotta vote for Azir. It's got a good matchup, and to be honest, if I'm Azir here, this is such a nice game. Like, you're not really concerned about anything killing you rapidly. You're maybe scared of a flash ult from Malzahar, but once you come out of it, you can just put your ult down, shove them underneath the turret, and then use your shifting sands to get away. So I'm looking at this as it. I'm expecting it to be the carry, so I'm going to vote for White Lotus.
You know, in my heart, because for the love of the game of straight hate, I want to say Berserkers because I don't like that GP pick. For the love of the game, though, but keep it professional. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go White Lotus here.
Hey, all right. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. The spectator delay ting, so I guess we can throw it to a short break whilst we get ourselves ready for the game when we come back.
Wait, before we go,
Oh.
before we go, because we didn't mention this at all. I didn't mention very much about this at all. So we already, White Lotus kind of obvious. They got multiple win cons. You got GP, you got Kaisa, but on the side of Berserkers, what do you think they need to win the game? What do you think needs to happen?
Echo needs to live in mid lane and play off Malzahar ults. Get this Echo mega fed, otherwise no one's killing this Azir, and that is how you win the game. If Echo can get fed, then I think Valhalla Berserkers will win.
Not so sure about the Aatrox in the top side, are you?
I mean, again, Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have returned with this awesome series here. Valhalla Berserkers up against White Lotus Carnation. It is currently 1-0 in this best of 3. We have seen your predictions. No one is expecting the bounce back from Valhalla Berserkers. Ghost, what do you think? And tell us why.
You know what? My professional opinion was for White Lotus, but you know what? My heart, I'm always for the underdog. So you know what, guys? Berserkers, we taking a win tonight, boys. We taking this game to win. Let's go. Drag this to game 3. Show the crowd that they were wrong and they didn't put their money on the right people, all right?
Hey, it's not that much of a shout. If I'm taking a look at the draft alone, this is not going to be that difficult to play. I think the only scare I have is, again, I mentioned it in the draft, is if this Echo falls behind, it's going to be so difficult to play out the rest of the game. That is a big if, because it's very simple here for the Echo. You have playing for mid lane, very easy. Playing for bot lane, very easy as well. Just as long as Valhalla Berserkers can just avoid the same situation in last game in bot lane, then it should be okay.
And like we're already starting as trades already happening, it's toxic. Taking a good amount of damage already early in this lane. Minions weren't even there yet. And everybody wants smoke. I love it though. I did say at the beginning, I expected a lot of fighting to go on. Is that opinion has not changed yet at all.
Yep. A lot of fighting, and again, there's like Peachy Pixel is gonna be losing out in the trade. I just hope that they don't just throw the kitchen sink down in the bot lane and get this Kaiser a bunch of kills. You were very hopeful for this Aatrox. Talk to me about this top lane matchup. Actually, before you do that, there's a flash in bot lane.
Well, I'm hopeful for Aatrox. You think about it like this, right? Arashi is going to be trying to scale on his GP. Abatello can only really just focus one side of the map at a time. And you got 2 scalers, and you got Kai'Sa. So with Kai'Sa already, you're going to be looking more towards these dragons in the first place. So with that being said, I mean, I feel like Arashi is not gonna be on a full like island, but for the most part, it's not gonna really have that much. I think Nums 1-2 on this Aatrox needs to take advantage of having that one-on-one matchup against them, and try to build up a lead as much as you can to be able to try to take over this mid game at least before Arashi can scale in this game plank.
Yeah, that's going to be super important for them to do, and you see already Arashi getting a decent lead, but being chunked a lot of HP out. Once he hits level 3, we'll have access to the W, which can heal him back, but Nums 2 getting some decent trades down, but a bit behind in CS. Again, very interested to look across the board at the CS numbers. This Azir Beer is very far behind, over 10 CS down at 3 minutes. This is the 3rd wave as a top lane gank.
Gang coming in, Arashi already having to flash away. Will Lego be able to finish the kill? Look like it's going to be a no.
Oh, he's out.
Good old Orange is going to get the HP, but got another gank on the other side of the map. Albert coming in for the bot side. Peachy having to spin the barrier already. And first blood to Wukong. As now Ian trying to make his way out. As Leona's going to look for the dive. No sums available. He already expended. And now Dope. And 2 kills over to the side of White Lotus Carnation. 1 on Kai'Sa, 1 on Abatello. This is not looking good.
No, let's just quickly break down what happened there. Both junglers opting to go opposite sides of each other on the clear. Abatello gone towards that bot lane, Lego Alien towards the top lane. Arashi survived the gank on the Echo. Had that been traded, I think you can call it worth. But he survived from that top lane gank. Abatello then knows that Echo not going to be here on the bottom lane to contest my gank here. I'm going to go for that 2v2 play. No, wait, hang on.
Sorry, I had to interrupt you. His number 1-2 is going to end up possibly getting solo killed. It's looking like he's on the run. Arashi going to eat the oranges. Will Arashi go to the bush, try to finish the kill? Like he's going to be barrel thrown into there. Instead, Flash being expended by the Aatrox. He's trying to make his way out, but keep in mind, the Q going to be coming off a cooldown. But he's going to make it out, actually.
I have no idea why Arashi was so scared. That is a, like, what? It was like a 30 HP Aatrox. You're like a half HP Gangplank. There was no threat. Aatrox had a flash, but that is it. There was no threat of you walking into that bush there. But, yeah, I mean, luckily he got out. I'm scared because this Aatrox was a counter pick into the Gangplank, and he's being forced to flash defensively at 5 minutes. This is not even when Gangplank is strong, so it's a little concerning.
It definitely is, and it even interrupted your analytics session, so it lets you know it's getting serious out here. But Toxic about half HP, but please continue, man. You was having a beautiful, beautiful like lecture about what was going on in Boston, and this happened.
I was doing a TED talk about what happened. You saw Abatello, saw no threat of the Echo contesting my gank here. I'm going to show up in the bot lane, go for that 2v2 in the bottom side, picked up a kill. One for himself, one for Slayer as well as 2v2.
Oh, Leona E misses. Keep in mind, that's going to be big. It's now Peachy's going to be able to get the damage down. Toxic doesn't have flash, so Toxic's going to be looking to go down in a minute. Oh, no. Q's going to miss. Q's going to miss. Toxic barely lives, and Kaisa is going to make that third kill for the side of White Lotus Carnation. Arashi TP down, walk down, is going to find himself. Oh, I said Arashi. Sorry,
Oh, it's a disaster.
I said TP down. I'm sorry, he just ulted. But this is a murder.
It's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. White Lotus have just mowed down Valhalla Berserkers. They tried to make the play in the bot lane, and as you pointed out, Peachy Pixel missed the lot. What Nums 1-2 is dead in top lane as well. It is an absolute train wreck. We are sitting here again at 6 minutes into this game. One team is a scaling comp, one team isn't. Well, they scale, but it's a lot better in the early game.
Not as much.
And somehow it's the early game team composition that are winning in the early. It's the late game team composition winning in the early. We look at this fight in the bot lane. That Q missing on Varus might be what have lost them this series. That was so important to pick up the kill so that they can refresh some abilities. The way Varus works is he gets a lot of attack speed if he gets a kill with the passive. Slayer's going to flash a mid lane, but should be fine. And so not getting that kill, massive error. In comes loads of people. Azir just gets a shuffle in onto the Echo, and kill score 7-2.
You could tell both of us were dumbfounded. Both of us kind of just messing up, slipping up our words, because Toxic, man, being able to live right there, so little HP, be able to just dodge that various Q to be able to live, man. I just feel bad for Berserkers there.
You gotta feel rough. Top lane fight is not looking good for Aatrox now. Yeah, you gotta feel bad for Berserkers because I respect the attempt to go for it, but it was just mechanics mistakes. It's micro misplays, not something that you can really criticize too much because missing spells, it happens. It happens no matter who you are. I see it at pro play, so yeah, it's a rough one.
It's just that critical moment though. It's unfortunate, but they engage on the bot side now. Eden engaged on by Toxic. Change of Corruption gonna be utilized on the Kaisa. Slayer is about a quarter HP left. Killer Instinct gonna be utilized as now Peachy's on the receiving end of the beatdown. And now the fight turns around and Slayer lives and also gets a kill on the Peachy.
Okay, interesting 2v2. Peachy Pixel played that very, very well. But the Tahm Kench decided not to play alongside the Varus and went deep in for an engage. That engage was then used as a go button for Slayer and Toxic. When they saw that Tahm Kench starting to progress forward, they used that opportunity to turn onto Peachy Pixel, being isolated away from their support player. They easily got the burst down onto the Varus, and then the Tahm Kench was alone, couldn't really do anything, didn't die, but I mean, Varus going down there in the 2v2, I could not believe that was turning the way it did. And I guess some miscommunication from the bot lane of Valhalla Berserkers.
I mean, you want to think this game's turned to the way that it is. I mean, look at the Aatrox, the counter pick utilized for it, just getting pounded into the dirt, almost died again, another solo. Almost to the side, almost to GP. And keep in mind, he went cold second item.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Cold second item to Aatrox Clapfield 1. He's still losing the fight.
It's so rough. And I think when you take in, oh my god.
There's the engage. And the ultimate comes out. Good old Malefic Visions, but it's not, another grab. Sorry, with the Malefic Visions onto Beer, but it's not gonna be.
Oh
It's gonna matter.
no.
Hey man, I need you to change your name from Kakarot to something else, cause you sure as hell not Goku in this series.
Yeah, it's a solo kill in the mid lane now for the Azir. Again, Malzahar should be a little stronger than the Azir at the start of the game, but we're seeing a solo kill happen down. This is starting to. This is this worse than the last game?
Actually, no, it's about on par. The reason why I say is because if you look at the gold, right, it's about around the same gold at this time. Only difference is like it's one less kill for the side of White Lotus and one less kill also for the side of Berserkers. It was about 10-3-ish, I think.
I think though what makes it worse is last game we saw White Lotus, right? All the gold was on the center. There was no one else really in the early game that was looking as strong. However, this game, every single lane is dominating. It's 2 kills on Azir, 2 kills on Wukong, 2 kills on Aatrox, 3 kills on the Kai'Sa, and another bot lane fight.
Speaking of another kill, Eden's forced to ult Peachy swallow him, but here comes the counter game. But will it mean anything? Abatello is gonna get killed, shut down over to the Echo. As now they look for more on the side of Berserkers. Slayer is gonna find the kill on Lego. Himself is gonna be entering the fray, but he's gonna be walking right back out of the lane. As now it's gonna be a 1-for-1 trade in this bot lane.
This would have been so good if it was a 1-for-0 trade onto Abatello. Abatello went too deep, got killed off. Nice peel this time around by the Tahm Kench on Eden. Fortunately, Lego Alien tried to bite too much that he could chew, didn't cast the Chrono Shift, and unfortunately died. He tried to hold it to the last second, but the risk in doing that is if you are too late, you don't get the ability off, and then you get killed down. So it does end up being a 1-for-1, and sadly, for Valhalla Berserkers, this play that could have been so good ends up in an even trade.
Oh no, Eden was trying to make sure that Toxic couldn't hold the wave, and now it's gonna look like it cost him and his AD carry their lives. The killer instinct did come out. Eden is dead. Can PC get the counter kill? He's not gonna be able to make it. Toxic lives again with less than 100 HP, and now a double kill over the Slayer. 6-1-4 on the Kai'Sa.
Oh, you couldn't make this up. It's as if it was a script written by some evil man that just are looking for the worst possible outcome for the bot lane of Valhalla Berserkers. They go for another fight in the bot side as a 2v2, and they almost trade it 1-for-1. But with a sliver of HP, Toxic waddles away, alive and healthy. Flash being burnt in the mid lane. As Slayer picks up another set of 2 kills, 6-1 on the Kai'Sa. Do we even need to discuss who's the MVP of this series?
I don't think, man, it's kind of, no. I mean, let's be real. No. No.
You really don't. You really don't.
I was about to try to make it sound all professional. No. Let's be honest.
It couldn't be more obvious, as there is more fighting.
Yep, and possibly a dive cut up, but the wave is not up yet, so they're gonna be making their way downward. Peachy gonna be just getting some poke. Now, I was curious to see if they're possibly gonna look for a dive after pushing the wave, but Lego is around, but he hasn't been spotted out, I believe. But Wukong's gonna go back to his jungle. Nothing else to go from here. But good grief, this game definitely is worse than last.
And I think when it comes to trying to analyze what is the way out of the woods here for Valhalla Berserkers, the options are limited as they're going again.
That's the only way to put it. God, brother.
God.
A lot of divine intervention is needed in this game.
God's not saving you this game. I'll tell you that right now. No God, Zeus, Jesus, Buddha, whoever you put in front of you isn't going to save you from what is happening here, because, I mean, honestly, yeah.
The engages keep coming out, bro. They're just looking for fights, and look, Kakarot is not getting off the hook. Icon Beer's gonna get another kill, and now he's on a killing spree. 3 on this here.
Hey, if a team is able to engage a fight in bot lane and mid lane at the same time and then win both, you know it's rough. As actually, hang on.
Oh, Beer's gonna get a shutdown. He is
big shutdown.
Echo.
Yep.
I just want to just point out something, you know, as we're talking about gods, and I'm just gonna say in the wise words of a man with a lot of wisdom on the right cast, you know, from Worlds. What's a god to 5 non-believers? What's a god to 5 non-believers?
Exactly. You're right. Correct.
I'm not right. He's right apparently because this game is a perfect example.
Yeah. Yeah. True. I think Aatrox is dead again.
Yeah. We got a gank in bot lane. Here comes Lego. As now, we got ultimates galore. Barry comes out for Peachy. Killer Instinct trying to get himself closer to Peachy.
Okay.
Kill is going to be a trade. Kaisa does get another kill, but Kaisa finds himself dead and toxic. Trying to do something. Almost takes Lego. But Lego doesn't die, but also burns the flash in mid. Malzahar is going to die too. What's going on around this map?
Yeah, a lot of fighting. A massive shuffle in the mid lane from Beer. That was awesome to see, but... Now, the bot lane, I would usually say this is a massive play, but look at that. 385 gold extra shutdown, picked up by none other than your support. That is the last thing you want to see when the kill feed comes up, to see that your support just cashed in on such a big amount of gold. That could have gone to the Echo, that could have gone to the Varus, but unfortunately picked up by one of 3 of the worst members you could have.
Hey, but it's all good, though, because this shutdown instead was cashed in by the Aatrox. As he already does have the Eclipse finished off, but he's still half an item behind.
Yeah, that shutdown, very, very good. But yeah, again, he's still far behind. Turret did go down as well in the top lane, so that's an even bigger lead. And whilst the kill score is closer than the first game, let's bear in mind this is a very late game scaling comp, winning at 17 minutes. And so, I mean, to be honest, I love what Lego Alien's doing on the Echo. He is definitely the shining light. If they are looking for a Jesus in this game, it is going to be in the form of a Lego Alien. And so he's going to be the one that has to carry the mid game here for Valhalla Berserkers.
And speaking of Lego just sitting there in the range of that Oracle Lens the entire time. WLC knew what he was at, almost gets the kill. But now forcing him back, keep in mind, Shelly is now available for the taking, as Rift Herald is going to be looked to be started by White Lotus Carnation.
Yeah, almost a catch on Toon Lego Alien, just not enough follow-up there. Had they been able to kill him off, I think both the Herald and the Dragon would have been free objectives for them to take. They will settle with the Herald for now. I'm assuming the Dragon will be fought over, and with the position of where Lego Alien is, I definitely think they can. Aatrox is here as well, as we could be looking at a fight.
As we are, definitely Death Bush was inbound, and now Toxic going to be forced to flash away. Now on the run is White Lotus Carnation, but the fight could look to be turned around possibly when Azir gets there, but...
Okay.
Oh no! Toxic thought he was going to be able to walk up, get a ward, and then he'd getting his life taken away. This should be a free Dragon over to the side. This is a little bit more competitive in the last game.
Yeah, now it's
a little bit.
Now it's starting to get spicy. They've used a lot of ultimates, 3 ultimates down. We'll see if White Lotus are interested in contesting this.
Keep in mind, Nethergrass is still up though, but Beer with the shuffle. Cyclone still available. His drag is finished by Berserkers. It looks like the side of White Lotus, they're gonna look to engage at all. Kaisa was still half HP, so it wouldn't have been a good idea for him.
Yeah, I love what Valhalla Berserkers did, but I also do like what White Lotus Carnations did. You don't have to contest this. You have a gold lead with the scaling composition. Just relax, don't force anything and risk anything as Arashi getting caught.
Oh, risk is the ironic word you just said, because Arashi walking into that jungle by himself, now going to get picked off. And now another kill over the Pix and over the Peachy. And
yeah. A repeat of a comedy of errors. There's one from Arashi, one from Toxic. Toxic caught in the mid lane before the objective. Arashi caught in the mid lane after the objective. And you're starting to wonder, are there cracks in this fortress that White Lotus have built themselves? Because they are currently sitting with 2 mistakes, but they're looking for a fight here.
No. Speaking of cracks, their Killer Instinct coming out. Now the 2v2 is happening in mid lane. Wukong finds the kill, but Slayer's going to be almost going down too. Slayer will die. Eden having to utilize the shield. Lego is going to walk off and let him die, understandably so. Flash was burned? Don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, they're looking for beer. Unfortunately, Kakarot flashing into the zero wall, so no nether grass for him.
Yeah, couldn't get the catch on the Azir. It did break out in a favorable fight in the mid lane for White Lotus, so after making a few errors, they get themselves back into things. Abatello gets 1 kill. I think Slayer picked up the other. Maybe it was Toxic, but yeah, 2 for 1 in the mid lane in favor of White Lotus, so very positive. I think the initial fight was looking really, really scary. If I'm not mistaken, it did kind of look like Slayer was hitting the wrong target because that Varus was staying alive for so much longer than he should have. And so I think, I mean, Slayer's build is not the best against tanks. I think the Crit Kaiser's a lot better built for taking down the Tahm Kench. This build is great for assassinations and whatnot, so I think really nice kill onto Peachy Pixel at first. Abatello with a great wraparound to finish off the second as a fight here.
Oh, Kakarot, you face check the bush and now
No
you're
flash.
gonna pay the price. Oh, he barely lives, but the fight is still going on. And Slayer gonna finish off Kakarot with the W. A bear just fighting for his life. Turn is now officially
so
available.
deep.
They're looking for the chase. They are desperate as now Lego's gonna find himself a kill. Keep in mind now, Chrono Ship is still available, but Abatello's gonna be in fray also. And now this is turning into a 2v3. Triple kill over the Kaiser. Will it be a quadra? And it looks like it won't be, as Wukong does take the final kill of that fight. But no, it will be taken is his Autocon that's on his bottom side of Slayer and Toxic, and the rest of the crew is still pretty healthy.
If there was a definition of a desperate play, a Hail Mary, that right there is that. They try to just completely send it on the Azir. Beer was being chased out forever from all the way to sort of this bush that we're seeing on your screen to almost his turret. That's how far he was being chased. In doing so, Kakarot died in the middle of the chase. Peachy Pixel died after Azir died. But then at that point, they were too far deep. You would assume maybe Lego Alien would drop the ultimate, can maybe get another kill as a trade, and then just, you know, diminish the defeats as much as you can. Unfortunately, he did for the second time this game. He tried to hold that ultimate to the very last second, and in doing so, didn't get the perfect timing, got killed off before he could use it. And it's another dominant fight off the back of an error from Valhalla Berserkers.
Man.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it. Almost exact 6K gold lead for the side of White Lotus Carnations. This game is just going crazy. It's going haywire. Drag's gonna be up fairly soon. As the timer, about 45 seconds left to it's up, and expect another fight. But look at this boss side. They keep trying to catch this zero, but the wall is just telling them no.
Yeah. They keep trying to go for it, and I respect them for doing so, but it leaves them in positions like this where they could get caught, but Slayer is very out of position here. Nothing about this.
Slayer cares. Here's the fight, though. Nuns 1-2 on his 8 try. It's going to be looking to be finished. Abatello gets another kill. 5 more assists on the Wukong. Now utilized by Eden. And oh my goodness, this is a murder. Slayer's now on the rampage. With no chrono shift. Unfortunately, Malzahar has been a non-factor this whole game, so not really much he can really just do but watch his teammate die. As now another hits the gray screen, and a bank transaction is being, it's happening again for the side of White Lotus. A life for gold, and now possibly another turret too. Wow, Wukong go start this dragon.
Yeah, I mean, it's more domination here. I mean, this game could end in around the same time frame as the last one, and yeah, you mentioned something interesting there about the Malzahar. It's been a non-factor, and the reason is because it does one thing. If a champion does one, it's like Rammus. And champions like Malzahar, champions like Rammus, in the right situations, they look broken. There's nothing the enemies can do. But those right situations, it's like a three scenarios out of 10. It's very rare to get that situation where Malzahar is good. Hence why, when it's in the right scenario, everyone's like, oh, this champ is broken. But in games like this, where it's like, okay, you neutralize one threat, but the enemy team have 5, so it's not so good. And that is kind of what we're seeing here. It's a very one-dimensional pick. It isn't contributing to what it needs to do. Imagine a world where you had an Orianna, something that could help the Echo, maybe something with a bit more AoE damage, area of effect, so that you can neutralize more than one target, would have been a bit more effective, but sadly, it is not.
Unfortunately, Oriana was banned, and now Eden forced to use the ultimate.
Oh, yeah.
Tries to live. Lego trying to look for another kill, but forced the Chrono shift out or else lose his life instead. Oh, White Lotus looking for this Baron. Is they going to start it?
Yeah, they are looking for the Baron. They get 2 ultimates out. 3, actually, at the time Kench used his as well, so it should be freestyle unless Lego Alien can steal it, but cannot.
Man, this game is just... This is torture. I'm not gonna lie, this gotta be a torture on a mental. Like, to go through game 1 and then have to deal with this as a game 2.
Yeah, this is not pretty.
This kind of series that made teams disintegrate.
It is. It really is. This is it's a painful one to watch, considering, you know, whenever you're casting a game, you want to give a fair chance for both sides, but we're in the second game of this series, game 1 being a stomp. Now we're in 26 minutes of this game. They did last longer, but I mean, it's the same old story. It's just another dominant game. Bot lane just blew out of proportion. Difference is this time, top lane and mid lane look very good for White Lotus. And I mean, maybe there is another fight left into this. I just don't see it being won by Valhalla Berserkers.
Like I said, it needs divine intervention, but this dive, man, this dive. Peachy being ulted by Eden, forced to be swallowed up, but even though he spit it out, it's not going to be doing much. It's now the shuffle. The wall is up. Peachy and Eden are going to die. The bot sitting in Valhalla alone with their namesake. And this game 2 should be coming fairly to an end.
Yep. Game 2 should be locked and loaded for White Lotus. I've been super impressed with this roster. They have lined up to a very impressive performance in this series. And from start to finish, from minute 0 to the very end, it really did look like a one-horse race. There was no answer as that Nexus goes down, securing the victory for White Lotus. And, I mean, like, listen, Slayer is a player that I did not know of. I did not know of his existence coming into this series. I leave this cast with the idea in my brain that this guy is a machine for his skill level. He completely outperformed his opposite number in the bot lane. And it's no fault of Peachy Pixel, but I mean, 180 carry came to play. 180 carry came to show what he could do. And unfortunately, that leaves the other 80 carry in a position where you're going to have to bite the bullet, because look at that. Once again, topping the damage numbers. And if you're doing this on one champion, great. You do it on another champion, you are showing yourself to be the pedigree player for your team, for your roster. And I don't even think we need to discuss who the MVP of this series is.
You said MVP? Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, not much to say, really. In terms of analysis, it goes as far as like...
What is there to analyze?
All right, let me break it down. Let me break it down easy for those at home. So this team on blue, good. Team on red did no good against team on blue.
Yo,
there we go. There we go. I think that encapsulates the essence of this series. I feel like whilst it was maybe harsh, it is kind of what happened. And so, yes.
You know what? I think I have a different variation of what you said.
Uh-huh.
Blue side bought a belt.
Oh God.
It had metal hoops on it and all. Red side,
they bent over.
They took a bath before walking into the room.
Oh.
Yeah, and then bent over, and yeah, the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Blue side just wanted to discipline their child and show who the father is, and that's what happened.
Yep, exactly that. I mean, not much else to say, as we discussed, and I think for Okay, hang on. Let's give Valhalla Berserks their credit. I think I will praise them in the sense that it didn't look like they gave up at any point. Whilst the game pretty much from start to finish looked unwinnable, they kept trying to make plays, and they didn't just like. I think a lot of teams in their position would just kind of sit there and just like, I don't know, lie down and slowly bleed, let the falling tower just collapse on them. But they tried to fight. They tried to put up a decent bout against their opponents, and I think you can give them their respects. But I think today it was just a little bit too much for them.
No, this definitely was a little bit too much for them to handle, man. Slayer just put on a show, man. Like,
yeah,
machine.
machine.
It's like I want to talk about this, but there's only so much you can talk about because both games, White Lotus Carnation decided, hey, we're gonna take a late game comp to this game, and then you know what? We're just gonna spray paint late on top of it. But really, we're just gonna play it like an early game, take over from minute 3 on forward.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly that. I mean, right. We already said beautiful game from one side, good effort from the other, and I think we can wrap that one up. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us in spectating this great series, Ghost in Space. It was a pleasure to cast alongside with you. Thank you very much as well to the broadcast of Merc Production for hosting us, and wish everyone a lovely, lovely evening.